Hello and welcome to the OCVarsity Gridiron Show. And wait a minute, guys. We are not at a high school today, but we're in an Orange County city, San Clemente. We're here at the San Clemente Pier. I'm Jonathan Khamis, being joined by Dan Albano to my left and Steve Fryer to my right. How's the weather, guys?
We are in paradise right now.
It's quite lovely here. This is a nice pier. You know, Jonathan and Dan, this pier was built in 1928. It's 1,269 feet long. Got rebuilt twice in 1939, also in 1985. 1983, storms messed this thing up, and they had to rebuild it in 85. It's a nice place.
Built in 1929.
28.
You know. I was going to make a joke about your birth, but I can't even get that out. Okay.
I didn't help build it.
No, yeah. That's what I was going. All right, Division One. Let's talk Mater Dei, fellas. Mater Dei beat Vista Murrieta last week, 63-30. JT Daniels with 5 touchdowns passing and 422 yards. Mater Dei will be playing Rancho Cucamonga this week. They will be at OCC. Steve, I know you know the reason why. I'll get to that in a second. On the other side, Rancho, Cucamonga, they beat Mission Viejo, snapping that 39-game win streak, 42-26. Steve, Mater Dei is not playing at Santa Ana Stadium. Why? And against Rancho, those Cougs are pretty tough.
Yeah, they are pretty good. If they beat Mission Viejo, they got to be really good. You know, what happens is Santa Ana High School and Mater Dei both use Santa Ana Stadium, the Bowl, some of us call it, as their home field. Santa Ana's on the rotation this week. They get first priority, so they called it. And Orange Coast College will be the home field for Mater Dei for the first time since 1990.
That's a long time ago. Yeah. I was 6 years old. I don't know about you guys. Yeah. Don't want to make you feel old, you know. All right, Dan, speaking of Rancho Cucamonga, Jalen Red, he scored twice within the opening 3 minutes of the second half, and that kind of sealed the deal for that team right there, beating the Diablos. Dan, your thoughts on Mater Dei versus Rancho Cucamonga?
Mater Dei, I think they got to watch out for Jalen Red. But they have a lot of firepower for Red. You know, one of my colleagues on the podcast, Scott Barajas, wondered if Red's going to maybe go both ways in this game. But you know, one of the things with this matchup is that you got Rancho Cucamonga's got some great defensive backs, and Mater Dei's got some great receivers, and Mater Dei's got the county record holder now in passing yards. A single season belongs to JT Daniels.
It's Red versus Red, Steve. Okay, Division Two. We're at San Clemente, so why not talk about the Tritons? They beat Heritage last week, 23-19. Sears really coming up clutch, guys, in the final 2 minutes there. And don't forget about Brandon Reeves. I've liked this guy all year. I mean, he had a couple touchdowns. San Clemente will be hosting Valencia of Valencia. What do we know about Valencia other than Magic Mountains there, Steve?
That's about all we know. You know they got to be pretty good to get to the semifinals. San Clemente, check this out. Over the last 3 years or so, they are 8-2 right now in playoff games. That's a heck of a run because wasn't that long ago they were 2-8 and they finished dead last in the South Coast League. So they're doing really well. Jack Sears is a heck of a quarterback, and they got so many other weapons over there. So, and it's at home, Thalassa Stadium. Yeah. Tritons play well there.
Dan, San Clemente trying to make to their 3rd consecutive CIF championship game. They'll have to beat Valencia to do it. Valencia beat Arroyo Grande last week, 52-24.
Yeah, I saw Valencia play last year against San Juan Hills, first round of the playoffs. I went up there to really check out Patrick O'Brien. But they're a really solid team. They're led by quarterback Aaron Thomas, who's thrown for 2,500 yards, 22 touchdowns, only just a few handful of interceptions. They're a pro-style offense with a spread offense, spread offense, single back, and that single back's pretty good. Moises Haynes, running back, 1,300 yards, 18 touchdowns. It's going to be a tough game. Tritons defense is playing well. They got a lot of momentum after beating the top seed, so I like the Tritons to get to a 3rd straight final.
All right, well, we talked to the San Clemente Tritons earlier. Here's what they had to say.
Kids know that every week our goal is to be 1-0, and at the end of that game on Friday night, somebody's going home. Their season's over. So that little anticipation, a little bit of excitement in the air, and the kids have really performed the last 2 weeks.
Excited to get in there in January, yes, and get after it. At the end of the day, just kind of had a change of heart and decided that USC was the place for me, and was thrilled to commit and get in there.
It's thanks to the loud crowd that we got going this year. They're really amping us up and just helping out a ton, and the home feeling is it's like no other here. It's almost like a college environment. It's just amazing.
Well, me and my brothers, we all grew up here together. You know, we all have something special here. We're all very familiar with each other, and we practice as a band of brothers, and that's what really brings us together.
Our thanks to San Clemente for hosting us. Well, are they really hosting us? We met them at the Pier.
One town, one team, one pier.
There we go. Steve Fryer, the man. Murrieta Valley at La Habra. This is another Division II game. The winner of this game plays the winner of San Clemente Valencia. So could be an all OC matchup. Looking ahead, we will see. Could be a rematch of the championship last year. They still calling it Southwest last year, right?
Yeah.
They change it every year.
Yeah,
So
whatever.
you know what it is. What it is. All right.
I don't know.
Okay, La Habra beat Redlands East Valley 31-21 last week. The defense, it was strong, and also Madison Wheeler had 107 yards rushing. Steve, La Habra, man, they're getting hot at the right time.
You know, something they did a couple of weeks ago was decided they got to put Madison Wheeler in the backfield all the time. He just gives them so much more weaponry there. And then all of a sudden we've seen the quarterback Fogel get better. When I saw La Habra pretty early in the season, I thought, you know, he's just not, you know, carrying on the tradition.
No
of
Eric
the
Berry.
quarterbacks.
It is
And
what.
all of a sudden, man, the guy's been playing great and and he's one of the more improved quarterbacks in OC. So I like La Habra's chances. They're playing at home, which is pretty good. I got to tell you though, I did pick Murrieta Valley to win the whole enchilada on this division. But the way La Habra's playing right now, man, you know, they seem to got that confidence going. We always knew their defense was going to be good. Looks like the offense has caught up.
Enchilada, don't get me hungry, man. All right, Murrieta Valley, Dan, they beat Norco 64-48. Hank Bachmeyer had 3 touchdowns passing and 423 yards through the air. But they will be visiting La Habra, which we all know has one of the best home field advantages in all of high school football.
That's going to help the Highlanders as it always does. You know, Murrieta Valley, you know, the Highlanders defense has really been impressive because this is the 3rd straight, you know, really, you know, Southern California blue chip quarterback they faced in a row. Because when they opened in the first round against O's Christian, they took on Matt Corral, outstanding USC commit. They intercepted him 3 times. And then against Redlands East Valley, they had Armando Herrera, who's only the Southern section passing leader for career yardage. And now they're going to take on Hank, who's the sophomore. He's kind of the JT Daniels of the Inland Empire because he's a star sophomore, 6'2", 200, but you know, compared to JT's kind of a slacker because he only has 38 TDs. Daniels has got 30 more touchdowns. Yeah. But I'm only kidding. Hank is a really good prospect. Only kidding. But look at Hank's numbers: 38 TDs, only 5 interceptions. So another tremendous challenge for the Highlanders, you know, defense, and they got to do it one more time. But we'll see if they can get it done. This is gonna be very tough. This is probably the best team that the Highlanders have played all year.
The Clan, we'll see what they can come up with. Our thanks to Dan Albano and Steve Fryer. Hey, we're going to talk about some other divisions on the OCVarsity Gridiron Extra Show, so make sure to check that out. But for now, I'm Jonathan Khamis signing off for OCVarsity.com, where we've got you covered.